fully getting there, but then we still end up in a situation where it's kind of like the accepted plus size body.
Yeah.
To where you got titties, you got ass, you have a flat stomach, you have thick thighs. And it's like, I would hope for us to get out of this like accepted body size and go into like, it doesn't matter. Like, you got a fupa, you got a pouch, you got this, you got some rolls, like whatever. Like, it's accepted regardless, and we're seen across the board.
It's real. Hey y'all, welcome back to the podcast. This is Inherently Gay. I'm Justin Dallas, and y'all, we have been through a journey this year. It is a season finale. I'm super excited. Y'all know me, y'all love me. This week, we are talking to Christabell, who is the icon, the queen, the legend. We summoned her for the final episode. So welcome to the podcast.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for reaching out. I was shocked. I saw it randomly when I was going to Houston, and I was like, oh my God. Yes, it's an honor and a pleasure. So thank you for having me.
Listen, getting two people who love to talk, like that's the perfect concoction. And I'm so excited you're here for the finale episode. We're going to get into some things, baby.
Look, I'm here for it. Contracts are over. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh, not the NDAs. The party with the queen. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, no. So I'm excited. The podcast is called Inherently Gay. This whole season, we've been talking about, authenticity. There's kind of been a theme of, being able to stand in your own light, being able to stand in your presence. So obviously I wanted to reach out to you because like you live in your authentic self in and out, as do all my other guests. But with Inherently Gay being the title, I wanted to ask, like, what are you inherently obsessed with right now?
Well, aside from Beyonce, Cowboy Carter, okay, look here.
What are your favorite tracks on there? Okay.
Oh, Spaghetti?
Okay.
Look here. Oh my God. It's like, I ain't gang, but I got shooters and I bang. I'm like, oh my God. I fell to the floor when I first heard it. I was like, that Bodyguard. It makes me feel like I need to be rolling around in some leaves in the hill country or something. The flowers running. Yeah.
She got Willie Nelson. She got Dolly P on there. Like,
yes.
Honestly, the fact that the Country Music Awards pissed that lady off enough that she was like, you know what? I'm going to come back with the whole album. And I'm going to bring these country icons on so you can't say shit. Exactly.
See, that's what a lot of people don't understand. You don't know exactly what people are doing behind the scene and what's going to tick them off. And I'm the same way too. With like Beyonce, I'm like, you know what? Let me take a page from her book, and I'm not going to let you guys know what I'm doing. And so it's like, bam, here. And it's like, oh my God, I didn't know you were in a pageant. Oh my God, I didn't know, you had a boutique. I didn't know you're now a plus size model. You don't see it coming. It's just going to hit you.
Well, see, we were talking about this earlier, but I took a page from Beyonce's book of like, she always said, like, don't talk about what you're going to do. Don't speak about it. Like, you hold your cards close to you and then you release that shit. Because my thing is, like, I don't want evil eye. I don't want the ojo. I don't want haters, holleration. None of that in the dancery. Like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And, like, I just came out it and I, like, started my podcast.
Yes, I love that. And I remember when I first saw it, I was like, that's Justin. He got what? Well, your mama didn't tell me.
And the thing is, like, it's hard for a bitch with a big mouth. Like, I love
facts
podcasts. Facts. Like, I love talking. Like, I always want to be the mysterious girl, like, in the corner. Like, oh my God, what is she up to? But I cannot stop talking for the life of me.
Yeah, that's not my vibe either. I would want to. No, couldn't do it.
So I'm trying to move in whispers.
Yeah.
Because I can't move in complete silence. Yeah. So it's my close family. Like, I'm like, okay, like, this is
the trusted ones.
My advisors, yeah.
Yeah.
The circle of the board of trustees. So I'm like, okay, this is what I'm planning on doing. Like, what do you think? I'm going to do this. I'm going to just do it. And also, like, standing true in, like, my own power of, like, believing in myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I believe I can do this. I got this. I'm going to do it. But I tell them, like, okay, I'm gonna need you to sign an NDA. Like, don't talk about it right now. Right. Like,
exactly.
Don't say nothing right now, but it's gonna come on the Lilo.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. The people you can trust to not say anything about it, and that's exactly what I have a circle. My circle used to be a whole lot bigger, but I definitely, and it's not that I excluding those people out of my life at all, but it's just I know who I can trust more with keeping certain things silent, and they're not using what I'm going to do as a platform just for them. Like, it's another thing. Like, I have a lot of friends that have small businesses or do the same things that I do, but I always maintain the community over competition method. And I'm like, we can both do the same thing, but let's support each other. And
Mm-hmm.
so
It's just like put down the claws, like share the love. Like one of my like trusted like good friends, like we actually started out as like work mentors. Like she was my work mentor, and then she gave me great advice, and like she's always a sounding board, and like she just like reiterates and like puts that into me that like like you could be a bad bitch supporting another bad bitch. It's like two queens linking up, combining their joint slate. Like there's no like competition over because what you're doing doesn't take away from what I'm doing, and
exactly.
we gotta live in love, y'all.
Exactly.
But that goes back to like living in authenticity. Like when you're not bothered by like Beyonce's not bothered by Lady Gaga.
Oh no, not at all.
And she's not bothered by anybody.
She's not bothered by Taylor Swift, and that's what pisses me off. That people constantly try to put those two women against each other. And of course, I'm always gonna go stronger and harder for but they have their talents in their own realms, and it's like just let them be. They support each other. What? Why?
Yeah.
It's all. Look, those people, they put it all about something else. They want to put it towards race, and it's like, look, let's keep it moving. No.
Yeah, and it's like you can have your fave, you can have your queen. Like, I know, like, with the gays and the super fans, like, we have the stands and all of that, and, like, I don't...
Rewrite at dawn.
Okay, it's giving Beehive, and, like, this thing is lethal. And, like, I love Beyonce. Like, she was my first, like, queen diva. Like, I saw her at the Renaissance tour last year in London. Like, I took my brother, we went...
Wait, you saw it in London?
It was given across the pond.
You literally gave me chills. Like, me and my sister saw it. We always see her in Houston. Like, we always know we're going to go see her in Houston regardless. So, London, gave me chills.
Well, because I was like, I don't want to fight with the whole U.S. because, everybody's going to Houston.
Yeah.
It was giving bloodbath. And I was like, you know what? For those same amount of tickets, we can make a trip out of it. So, we were in the Club Renaissance section. So, we were close. But we were able to, make it into a whole trip, and it was my brother's first time in Europe, and it was beautiful, absolutely stunning.
I love it. We should have had teacups.
We had some tea and crumpets.
Yes, honey.
Battle of Hogwarts. But no, yeah, sorry, that was a whole derail, but what are you inherently obsessed with right now?
Yeah, so actually just my journey and what I'm doing. So I'm trying to create a platform for the plus size community here in Austin. Oftentimes I travel to San Antonio and Houston and Dallas to go and meet up with other plus size women and go shopping. And, they have a really strong community. And so while I've been working with a lot of them in Houston, more specifically, I pitched them hey, I need to bring this to Austin. I need to create something. There's nothing for us. There's something for, our LGBTQIA community. There's something for the Latinas. There's something for everybody else. But I was like, dang, there isn't a place for a plus size women to be at. And I learned that even more so once I started this random pageantry journey because it came out of the blue. So that's, what I'm very obsessed about right now is creating this community. And I'm so excited that we get to kick everything off starting May 1st.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to talk about a lot of this. So first off, just you deciding to start it, was there something specific that made you want to be you know what? I don't see it if it's not here, I guess I'm gonna have to be the one to do it. Talk me through about that.
Yeah, so that actually happened when I started getting all the news press when I became Mrs. Texas. So a lot of people knew me as Mrs. Austin, but they didn't know me once I won the crown as Mrs. Texas. So once that started hitting all the airwaves, making news all over Texas, I started getting DMs. I started, getting text messages just from people I haven't heard from in years. And oh my God, I'm so excited. What you're doing, this means a lot. Or even it really hit me when I saw young girls, the little chubby Latina girls, coming up to me oh my God. And I was like, that was me. I was chubby. I was the gordita.
Yeah.
And then I was like, damn, I was like, okay. So during that time as a queen, I made sure to represent my community, my culture, and just being a plus size woman, as right as I can, because there's just so many stigmas when it comes to it. People would constantly even tell me, oh, you're promoting obesity. And I'm like, honey, no, it's not like that. This is not my 600-pound life. Okay. Yeah. This is, real women. They have real body issues. Granted, it's from either genetics or medically. It's none of our business, but they deserve to shop, to feel like they belong, to not be judged, to not be afraid to go to a pool or a hotel and go to swimming and wear even just a, one piece. It's very discouraging for a lot of them. And I've overcame my journey, throughout my whole life of, gaining weight and going from being 104 to 220 in a matter of 6 months once I was 19. And I'm like, I went from being like, thotty and happy to like fatty. And I'm like, I didn't know how to process. So I can only understand what women are going through now more so with social media. So I knew like, okay, I need to do something.
And it's so interesting just because like, I feel like our society, like especially America, we have an obsession with how the body should look and how the body should be. And like, I feel like people love to villainize just like plus size and fat people. Like it's like, and there's a lot of intersectionality. Like obviously like you could be a woman, a person of color and be plus size. And like, they will demonize you just because of like, genetic factors. And like this, I was talking to my friend about this because she wanted to go to the doctor to get checked up and like, she's relatively healthy. And the doctor was like, oh, have you just tried losing weight? Maybe your problems will go away. And it's just like, God. Girl, like the doctor, like first off, medical diagnosis and all of that, it's all based in like white Eurocentrism.
I was just about to say that. Yes, exactly.
It's not meant for people of color or people with different types of bodies. And you could be, I know a lot of people who are like perfectly like healthy and they're plus size, and there's like people who are like, maybe mid-size. I'm not talking about cars, like mid-size or like
okay, you got a hatchback or what?
Girls, the Toyota RAV4. But no, like they have problems and stuff. So it's like you can't just go off of like how someone looks physically, and it's also kind of like very like misguided as a doctor too.
Yeah, it really is. There's been a number of times I've seen doctors and they're just like, well, how are you eating? And I'm like, okay. And I'm really honest with my team of doctors that I have. And I'm like, well, this is how I'm eating. So what's the problem? I do my, my workouts or whatever, and nothing's changing. Like what? So I understand how a lot of like my plus size community is getting into like Ozempic and stuff. And it sucks me just because there isn't like a long-term study on that. And I just worry about other people and like, well, what is this? Are we going to be seeing like, oh, have you been, what is it? Mesothelioma, the commercials, like, are you affected by mesothelioma? Call 1-800. It's like, what?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is like a lot of people, like a lot of celebrities are using Ozempic. And even Karen down the street is using Ozempic just because like you're losing weight. And then some like, also, like the American healthcare system is already messed up, and it's like people who actually have diabetes and need that medication, they can't get access to it because, like, I'm like, I don't know, like if but like I was like I've had diabetes like since I was a child. Like I have type 1 diabetes. My family has diabetes. Like it's genetic, and it doesn't matter like how much weight I lose, if I can be vegetarian, whatever. Like I'll always have it, and like getting access to a lot of medication when I wasn't working was hard because it was like the healthcare restrictions and insurance and all of that stuff. Like.
That's just expensive to begin with anyway, with insurance.
Yeah. And then let's talk about too, like, you doing pageants. Like, when did you jump into pageants?
So I had met the former Mrs. Texas Plus America at, in Houston at a plus size event called Spoil Latina, which that is incredible. Okay. Love it. And so I met her and I just went up to her and I was like, hey, I don't know you, but I'm so proud of you. I think it's incredible that you are promoting women that look like us, out there, and it's not seen. So like, thank you. And we hit it off, became friends. And then once like the registration for the pageant opened, she was like, I told my director about you, like she's going to reach out. And I was like, shit, I don't know if I have time for this. I got a boutique, I got a podcast. Like what am I doing here? No. And so that's what really drove me in. Once I met with the director, we discussed and I was like, crap. I was like, this like really fits like everything that I'm doing. And in a sense, I didn't see like the plus size community. I just said like the representation for Latinas. And I was like, okay, I have to do this. Yeah. So I did it. First time, never done pageantry in my life. Like that wasn't a thing for me at all. I just like getting dressed up. So a lot of girls, they hire coaches and shit, right? I mean, we all know like Honey Boo Boo and Talas and Tiaras, right? And so a lot of girls hire coaches. And I was like, we're going to save our coin because they can't give us anything. So it was just literally me and my sister raw dogging it.
Yeah. Okay.
We were literally raw dogging it. I was like, we know how to dress. We know how, what looks good on us, fix our hair right. We know how our makeup is done. Like, no, we got this. And then all of a sudden I take the Texas crown. And
dang. Okay. First time clean sweep. Okay.
First time clean sweep. And then, a couple months later, that was in March of last year. And now we go to July and it's the nationals for the Mrs. America. And I was like, look, I'm going to be happy regardless because I made it here. Like, I'm happy to represent Texas, Latinas. Yeah. Like, I was happy to begin with. So I came in with the losing mind and I didn't care. I still gave it my all. And then I was like, holy crap, I made top 5.
Yeah. Wow.
I was like, holy crap. And then I made it. Then they called my name and it was just me and one other girl. And I was like, fuck, like this could happen. I literally looked at my sister in the audience. I was like, bitch, are we doing this? Like, what the fuck? And I lost. But what I didn't know was that I didn't find out till kind of shortly after I got off the stage was that it was a tie and I lost by half a point.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I was just as happy as a clam. I was like, I didn't come in expecting to win.
Yeah.
But as far as I made it without doing everything like everybody else does, like I was definitely far from the normal and kind of what pageant etiquette should be. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what I was told, that I just, came in and almost clean sweeped it all.
Damn. Okay, mic drop. Okay. And this is all like with like no coaching, all of this, just like, like, no, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. I was just like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be me. Mm-hmm. And if they don't like me for me, because I'm getting judged all the time by 6 different strangers who don't know me. So, when I'm in the interview portion, they can ask you anything from, hey, what's your favorite color, to, oh, what is your stance on DACA? Like, and you have to be able to formulate a correct answer with that. And I was like, I'm just going to go in and be me and answer exactly how I feel. And, if they don't like me, then they just don't like me. Yeah. And that's fine, because not everybody has good taste in tea, and I am the sweetest.
Be like, okay, and you want to be an acquired taste. You don't want to be for everybody.
Exactly.
And that's really the power of like knowing who you are at the core, and you shining regardless of, having all these coaches or doing all this training, or, getting your go-go juice like Honey Boo Boo. Like, you're going to do what you're going to do. And,
snorting pixie sticks.
Okay. I'm like, wait, that is all good. But no, yeah, you're going to be who you are regardless. And like, people love you, just because whenever you're authentic and stand in your light, it's so clear to see.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And there's a lot of times where I know we try, because there's certain things that we like and we see and we're like, okay, well, let's try that out. And it's like, oh, people can tell, and it's really true. People can tell when you're not yourself at all. When, fake front screen right here.
I love that. Because I grew up as like a very chubby kid. I grew up as a very she was wearing, husky pants from JCPenney's.
Not husky.
We were husky pants, like not even like plus size. It was just like, here's an animal size. Like,
here's an animal size.
Yeah.
What are you, buffalo? It's like, oh my God.
Not the orca. But no, like I grew up, and like growing up, like, my mom, like, like a lot of like our moms, like they care about the diet. And so I grew up eating Skinny Cow, Atkins, like, as an 8-year-old. So that gave me like a warped sense of like, what is the body type if I want to find love, or if I want to be desirable, especially growing up like gay in the gay community. It's very much like body, physical appearance. And like now that like I've kind of like got into like a more active lifestyle, like really a lot of that doesn't change. It's all about the perception inside of like, if you see yourself as like a bad bitch, then that's going to shine through. And like, a lot of times, like I remember when I first like just started loving myself, and like the first thing was coming out too. A lot of people were like, "Oh my God, I love your confidence. You're so sexy." And like the back of my head,
like,
the back of my head
dropping
would be
it
like,
low and shit for them.
Part of me would be like, "Oh, what do you mean? You're lying," or like being like, "Oh, what do you want out of me?" Like I wouldn't believe them.
Yeah. And
I'm like, you know what? I have to like believe in my confidence, and I have to believe in myself. And once I did, girl, we had a time.
And it was just, you were also trying to protect yourself, reverting back to, okay, well, let me make sure they're not going to hurt me. And then it's like, wait, this is who I am. So if they hurt me, whatever, like brush them off. I don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
And that, it takes a lot. It's a lot of work. Like I said, I've been through the ringer. So a lot of people may or may not know that I'm married, but this is my second marriage. I got married when I was 19. And so, I was put through the ringer, and I gained all that weight during that time. My husband at the time ended up leaving me because I gained all this weight, and it's due to a medical condition. So it was like, you look like a jackass. And so, I went through all this like trauma really of like, who am I? What am I? Like, nobody's going to love me. So when you were talking about like, size and having to look, skinny basically, to attract a partner, that's what I was really worried about. And growing up in a, Latin family, that, that was pushed on me with my grandmother a lot. She was like, what are you eating? She was like, you're not gonna get married with this. And I was like, okay, well, here's my other burrito then. Yeah. Like, so I totally understand what you mean about that.
Yeah, no. And like, I think it does a lot of that acquire like when you're younger too, because like I was like I was a chubby kid, and like I was that bitch that was swimming in the pool with a shirt on. Like
Yeah.
it was like there's this meme on Twitter. It's like, you're a big girl. I was a big girl, and like a lot of it was I listened to a lot of podcasts, and I listened to like a lot of like Nicole Byer and like other plus size
Love
celebrities.
Nicole. Hmm.
And the like what she was talking about essentially was like, as bigger people, like we love ourselves. That's not the problem.
Yes.
It's the people outside and externally who have a problem just with our bodies.
Hmm.
And it's just kind of like you're having to convince outside society that like I'm a regular person, treat me like a normal person.
Hmm.
And it's not really like a love thing or a self thing. It's really just like all these external factors pushing down on you, telling you like what you should look like or what you should be.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the funny thing is, I've encountered this from like women, right? And just very directly. And I'm like, I don't even know you. But at the same time, and this is some tea for you, at the same time, their husband's in my DMs.
Okay,
But also trying to send me money during the pageant.
Girl.
And I said, I'll take your money.
And what else you got?
Hello.
No, yeah, like I was talking to one of my friends about this because like obviously like we both bonded over like being chubby and stuff. Like obviously like I'm not bigger bodied like I used to be. It's giving ex fatty, but like I like a lot of my friends like are still plus size, and like I just grew up so long being big that like in my head like I still like resonate with that.
Yeah.
But what I was talking to my friend about was he was saying like being also gay, there's a lot of, he calls them like DL chubby chasers, like how
Oh, yes.
like how they'll go after them and they'll love them like in the DMs or
Yes.
in like, you know, in private messages or in the shadows,
You
but
definitely get fetishized.
fetishized. And that's another thing of like fetishizing versus, you know, appreciating and adoring, because
Exactly.
he was talking about this guy that he was talking to who, you know, he would always be seen with like a skinny or a muscle or a gym guy.
Yeah.
And then whenever he was drunk or when it was 2 a.m., he would always be with someone bigger.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't like, I guess
You didn't think about it.
I didn't think about it, you know, because
Yeah.
that's not my day-to-day life experience. Like I wasn't thinking about it. I'm just like, why are people so ashamed to just like love what they love, you know? Because they're already coming out as gay, because that's already one.
That's already one thing.
There's already one thing, and then it's just like, okay, a person of color, and then like someone who's like bigger size. I'm just like, what?
Exactly. I don't understand what the problem is. And it's definitely a whole societal, you know, thing. And it can go on and on about where it kind of stems from.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's a whole nother podcast.
That's part 2. Okay. But no, yeah, I think it's so like weird with the whole like fetishization versus like actually loving, and like that's something that I had to click on like too when I was thinking about it. Like, okay, do you like me for me, or like what do you like me for? And usually you can tell like when you're talking to a guy of like, okay, they like me because they're actually trying to get to know me, or if they're like, oh, let me grab on to this. And I'm like, well, hold on there.
Hold on.
Because my skin is sensitive. I'm frizzy. So let me grab it on too hard. Cowboy Carter.
Hey, giddy up. Not bucking.
We knucking that book.
Bucking. Ah! Yes.
Oh my gosh. But no, I would have loved to like see the representation like at a young age, and like
I would have too, yeah.
it's kind of like you're healing like your younger self, because you're doing it for you, but you're also doing it for the younger you, but also the other kids who like are growing up.
Yeah, exactly. It's so important, because we didn't have that. You know, we didn't have anybody in any kind of media, whether it be TV, movies, even musical artists. We didn't have that. We didn't have anybody in the magazines walking runways that look like us. And now, you know, we're slowly getting there, but then we still end up in a situation where it's kind of like the accepted plus size body.
Yeah.
To where you got titties, you got ass, you have a flat stomach, you have thick thighs. And it's like, okay, we're getting there, but if this is the only image that we're seeing across the board for everybody, like there's girls that don't have titties. There's girls that don't have asses. I don't got one. Look, I want a Megan ass. I want a Beyonce ass.
Okay.
You know, I want to walk around this town and like something see through with my ass out.
Yeah.
Like
A sundress. Yeah.
Exactly. But you know, I ain't got them cheeks. Yeah. Like I got Krabby Patties.
That's
you know,
your formula.
Exactly. And so, you know, I want to get out of. I would hope for us to get out of this like accepted body size and go into like, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you got a fupa, you got a pouch, you got this, you got some rolls, like whatever. Like it's accepted regardless. And we're seen across the board.
Because it's real. And it's like, why wouldn't like TV media executives like want to portray real people? Because that's who you are. That's who you resonate and you connect with. Like, I'm going to connect with someone who looks more realistic than someone who is like, obviously like, there might as well be an alien because they're so far removed from what reality is.
Yeah, exactly. I know a lot of people are like, well, how does Beyonce? Because of course, everybody comes at me with Beyonce because they know my love for Beyonce runs deep. And they're just like, well, you know, you idolize Beyonce so much. It's like, well, because she's real about it though.
Yeah.
Like throughout her whole life, she's been real about who she is. And at the same time, she's probably learning, you know, how to accept her own body, as she said so in her documentary, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, she was just so open also about, you know, being pregnant, being a mother and things like that. It's like, people really don't share those kinds of things. And the fact that you have somebody who's like on top of the world sharing all this, it's like, no, like, this is why she's sharing and what she's doing for the Black community. Like, we need this for Latin community and just community in general.
Yeah.
But
Pretty hurts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, not the harmonies. Come on now.
Well, no, it's like, I love what you said that like, we need to lift up our own community because like it's just
We do.
And I love that you kind of just started it because it's like you see people doing it for like this community or this community. It's like, well, if nobody's doing it, like let me step up and do it.
Yeah.
And I love that energy.
And the thing about me is I am like, oh, I was so in my head. And my sisters, like, they definitely talk me off the ledge a lot because I want everything to be grand, top tier, extra, because everything I do is just extra. And my sister's like, look, this sounds bad, but it's okay to start lower because this is new for everybody else. Like they don't know what you know, or they haven't experienced the things you have in the events you have. So this is new. Like you kind of got to give them a chance to come in, take a look, you know, see what's going on. Exactly. And then you can hit them with like everything else. Because I have really big, I have big plans for this plus size community. And that's not a pun.
Yeah.
I mean, I own it, but like,
Yeah.
but I have big plans for this community, you know, with, you know, people that want to sponsor and businesses that want to, you know, take over and come and do things for us. And I'm like, okay, but I got to, you know, get them just to put their toe in a little bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's been going good because I started it off in February with having free monthly plus size clothing swaps.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Only plus sizes. I mean, everybody can come, but we're only gonna have plus size clothing, extra large or 14s and up, you know, for everybody. And so what I do is I tell all the women or all the people, bring your clothes. If you want to take them, that's fine. If you don't, I'll hold them. Every season we'll be donating to a local women's shelter.
Oh, I love that.
Who needs that. So that way it's not just going to a landfill. It's not being waste, so that we're also being sustainable at the same time. And the community has grown over 220 members now. And just within those months, and I was like, damn, this is needed.
Yeah.
Like that was like kind of my, like, let me see if people are going to bite. And they sure the hell have.
And it just shows that like the community is out there. The people who are wanting to like, you know, eat up this content or eat up this message is out there. And it's like, this idea of perfectionism, because I get it. I'm the same way. Like I have a lot of ideas and we both love Beyonce. So it's like, I want to do it on Beyonce level.
I want, you know, Baychella.
Okay. It's even homecoming.
Exactly. I want the band. I want to have an HBCU band with me too.
Yeah. It's, you want to do it. You want to do it right. And you want to do it justice. You want to be proud of the work you're doing. And I was kind of like that with this podcast. And like, it took me forever because I was like, I want it to be on this like grand scale. I want it to look like I had a perfect vision. And I was fine like waiting and like, you know, working up to it. But part of me was like, you know what? There's never going to be, you know, a perfect, you know, ceiling. You know, you just got to do it and then you can build on top of it because people are going to want it regardless. Yeah. So just doing it, I love that.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm so excited, you know, for what's to come in the future with this plus size community. It's definitely giving me, you know, happiness doing it. And that's something that I'm, you know, really trying to discover, like what is my, not even purpose, but just what is going to fulfill my soul, because I still work a 9 to 5 and I'm still doing all this other shit. Yeah. Like I've constantly been working my 9 to 5. My goal is to solely just put my full on, you know, life into this and create something that's a lot bigger.
Yeah. I have like a bunch of friends like who I was talking about earlier, and they want to go to these like plus size events. They want to go to these things, and they just don't know where to find them. So like now knowing like that these things they exist, like I remember one of my friends telling me like there is this queer plus size like pool party, and they were really excited to go just because of like a lot of like the trauma or being upset as like a younger person, like not feeling comfortable in your body at a pool or a water park and stuff, because there was this idea of what a body should look like. And it was really just an event for like plus size adults to like kind of heal their inner child and have a pool party. And it was, I love that. And like, I love that you're healing yourself and you're healing, the community, not just you.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people think like, oh, well, you're a pageant queen and you have no problem, wearing what you want to wear, flaunting whatever online. But the truth is, I have my own issues too. I don't have good days. And there's times where I'm like, I get depressed too. Like, look, baddies get saddies too. Yeah, okay.
Anxiety by Meg. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my God. Thank you. Oh, Jesus. Are you going to go wait, by the way, are you going to go see?
We got tickets. Yeah.
I got tickets too. Oh my God.
I need to plan my cowboy outfit.
Yes. I'm like, I didn't know which way to go, but that's a whole other thing. But yes. Exactly. And bringing it back to the pool party you were talking about, I'm actually going to host one in July. And so I was going to make that announcement and put tickets out for sale in May. And it's definitely inviting everybody, no matter what you identify as. If you're a plus size body, like come out. Let's kiki it up. Let's be fat. Yeah, okay. Let's tan. Let's be in the water. Let's eat. Okay.
EHAT, yeah.
Thank you. And I'm bringing out water slides, moon bounces, because I'm like, we don't get to get in those damn things.
I love that. Yeah.
We don't get to do that. So when you're talking about healing your inner child, there's so many times where it's like, get your big ass out of there, and it's like, no, our big ass is getting in. Okay. So yeah, definitely welcoming everybody to come on out. But that's going to be something that I'm really, really excited about, because we all face a lot of trauma, especially around wearing swimsuits and being in water.
We'll see. We're talking about, tiaras, pageants. I was a toddlers and tiaras kid. Like, so my dad's second wife, my stepmom at the time, like she would put her daughters in pageants, and we would go over there on the weekends. A month in the summer, it was shared custody, so we would go. And one time she was like, "I'm gonna put you and your brother in pageants," and my gay ass was like, "Girl, I already know my talent. I'm gonna be Potable Rain, like two-step, like," because I was a dancer. I love dancing. So I was like, I got this. It's giving clean sweep.
Yes.
So me and my brother, we won. We snatched trophy. Because listen.
Oh, let me find out. You're gonna pull out with the tiara right now. You said, look, I came.
Listen, I come with crowns. No, like it was fun. It was like, it was so exciting. And like I think my mom still has the picture of like me and my brother like in our little like tuxedos and like outfits, and it was like tiny Mr. Austin, little Mr. Austin. And
oh my God.
I'm a previous pageant holder type.
Oh, he was like, you ain't the first, honey.
Okay. Girl, I walk so Honey Boo Boo could run.
Look at that. Yes, I love that.
But no, yeah, like I don't know why, like I really enjoyed it. And like I did the pageant. We just did it for that 1 year. Yeah. They weren't married that long. So like after
you're like, that's all I got.
After that, I retired my crown. But I was like a competitive dancer in middle school and high school. So we would go to like competitions and stuff. And like, I want to talk about like just the competition air and the energy whenever you go to one. Cause that energize, like I'm a competitive bitch.
Oh my God. Look, I'm friends. And then once it's like, bam, go time, I'm like, get away from me.
Yeah.
Like I'm in my zone.
Yes.
Literally. I have so I have a playlist on my Spotify, right?
Okay.
A lot of people are going to give me crap about this. So it's called Kanye Mentality.
Okay. Listen, you need it. Yeah.
So when that playlist is on, like everybody knows, oh, get away from her. Like she is not to be messed with, because at the time, look, I'll say Kanye's a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. I'm about,
Gemini. Okay. That was my Gemini child. Okay.
Yeah. So I was about that life. So flipping my faces. Yep. Okay. We're friends. We're cordial. We're having dinner. You're also my competition. So once we flip over to the next day, competition day. Yeah, no. It got interesting. So I will say this, and this isn't like pageant answer, because like I said, I'm out of contract. I'll say whatever.
Yeah.
But all the women were so nice. Like,
Okay.
that's one thing that I was very happy about, was meeting all these different women, because they all have the same issues. And it was not that I'm happy that they have the same issues, but I'm like, I'm not alone in this. And we also have the same concerns about ourselves. And that was a lot. That was, just meant a lot for me in general, both when I was competing for the Texas Crown and then when I went to nationals. But honey, once it was game time, like, and we were gonna, yes. While yes, somebody would help, fix you up.
Well, yes.
I did not trust a soul to touch my dresses, my pant wear, anything
Do
that
people
I
get
was
petty?
wearing.
Like, do they?
I heard, so it didn't happen my season, but the previous season, I had heard that somebody cut someone's dress, and I said I would have shot him.
Oh my God. Okay.
Like, we're in Texas, baby. I would have shot your ass.
Open carry. Okay.
This ain't Texas. It is, honey. It's Texas.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. What is the wildest like rumor or story you've heard in the pageant world?
Oh, the wildest story was, there was a girl fixing to go on stage my season, and there was another woman in front of her. She stepped back, and we all have our heels on, right? She stepped on her foot so hard. Okay, look, we're all plus size, all right? So she stepped on her foot. Look, this is what I'm gonna talk about. We big bitches. But she stepped on her foot without looking, so the heel crushed her toe, and she had a broken foot.
Oh my God.
And she still went on stage to compete.
Professional.
I was like, Pam,
Love
you a
it.
bad bitch. And she still tells me, she's like, I feel like that was on purpose because that was part of her competition. And I don't know any truth to that. If it is, if it ain't. But I was like, I live for drama. That's not mine.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. So like, yeah, I don't really know a lot about like the pageant scene, but like I love drag queens. I've seen like drag pageants are a thing.
And that's where pageants originally came from. In the night,
okay.
if you didn't know that, so one thing, so about the pageants I'm in, they're very faith-based, right? And so I was a different fish out of water. Like, okay, yeah, I went to Catholic school and all that. I have my own issues with religion. I love God. He knows. We good. Whatever. But I knew I was going to bring something different. And it was definitely about to get spicy in their world, because here I am. I love drag queens. I love drag queen. And so I was like, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to educate people, right? Because there's some of these people that have preconceived notions about the LGBTQIA community and drag queens and kings. And I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Not while I'm around.
Yeah.
And so, one of my first things was called Crown the Queen. And I was at Lulu's on Manchac, and I had hired some drag queens to come in and perform. And I made a speech, and it was because drag queen pageantry, the Miss America pageant, to be honest, started because in 1920, the first drag show was held. There was first drag show. And some white man obviously saw it, took it. The next year, Miss America was there, and they had asked him where he got this idea from. And he did say he saw this and he thought that it would be better for women. And I was like, come on now. So every chance I've gotten, I've always wanted to pay my respects to the LGBTQIA community because of them and everything they've done throughout the years up until now, and even going in the future. I wouldn't be at the place where I'm at a platform where I'm at, getting the attention I do get, if it wasn't for them.
Yeah.
And that's so important to me. So when I talk about representation, it's not just about like me being a woman, me being plus size, me being a pageant queen, any of that. It's, more so about other communities that have helped me be where I'm at, and not ever forgetting that and taking that for granted.
And that's on intersectionality.
Yep. Look here.
No, I love that, because like whenever I think of like pageants, like I do think of like the big like Texas drag makeup and the hair and the gowns, and like I've been to like drag pageants before, and like they're big, and like the Mrs. like International Continental, and like these huge winners, and RuPaul's Drag Race, like there's contestants who like from Texas, like Alyssa Edwards and stuff. We talk about drag, and one of the craziest like horror stories or like rumors I heard was one of the drag queens cut up glass or put shards of glass in the makeup powder of another competitor. That's what I was like, I don't know like how ruthless and lethal it gets, but that's kind of like what I heard. But I didn't know they're all connected.
Yeah, they're definitely connected. And I try to do my best to make sure people know that for sure. So now people know.
Okay. I'm like, thank you, gays.
Yes, thank you.
Which makes sense, because I'm like, okay, a gay man running like a show director for a pageant, like I'm like, that makes sense. Like, come on, Mary.
Exactly. don't understand why we don't have more gay men running the pageant system. That's literally what I love. But I mean, of course, there's a lot of drama right now going on with the Miss Universe world, if you didn't know that.
Oh, what? Tell me.
Yeah, so there is a trans woman. She owned part of the Miss Universe. Well, a couple months ago, she came out and somebody was recording behind the scenes at a board meeting, and they had just announced that they were taking plus size women now, and there wasn't going to be an age cap. And so for me, myself, I was excited because, well, now it can be out there, but I was going to go for Miss Universe. I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to let's just go all out, right? And so I was keeping that under wraps. But then once this video came out, she was talking that, and this pisses me off so much, that, yeah, they can compete, they can sign up, they can join, but they're not going to win.
So it's like a political thing.
Exactly. Or a ploy to take their money and then also, look like, oh, on the outside, yeah, we accept everybody, PC. Oh my God, we love everybody. And I'm like, and what pissed me off was, I'm like, as a trans woman, first off, as an Asian woman, as a mother, she was putting down, she's going against herself.
You should know better.
You should.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm like, that's like how I feel about people, our people.
That's what I was going to ask is do you feel obviously yes, I think, was it a rate, the normal, standard, status quo, pageant, and then they birthed the plus size, which came first? Did that come second?
Yeah, it did come second. Yeah, plus size pageantry did come second. Although the pageant system that I was in, and the thing is that pissed me off because I didn't know about them up until I met the former Mrs. Texas, was that they had existed for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And I'd never heard of them. And there's one thing I'm going to do. I'm a nosy bitch. I'm going to find out on my nosy shit, okay? I know some obscure shit. And so I would have known that. And that kind of pissed me off because I was like, I didn't know about this. This needs to be, widely known. And then I started, learning about other plus size pageants. And I was like, holy crap. There's a whole ass community of, plus size pageantry that's out there. And then I even dove into, so you were talking about you being in pageants and your brother. There's a whole category of male pageantry as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap. So let's sign you up now. Let's get you in there.
Listen,
let's
my
go.
comeback era.
Yes, I'm ready. Come on.
Well, so that's what I was going to ask too, because how do you feel about there being two different pageant systems of the plus size pageant, competitions versus the other ones? I like it and I don't. I wish there's a certain thought process I have that I wish that they were combined. But at the same time, I would also want these judges to not be biased on either side. Yeah.
On plus size or on, what is considered normal size. I would rather them just not be biased about any of it and actually do it fairly. Yeah. Judge fairly, not however you think or what society tells us to think. Honestly, I don't even think and I hate saying this, I don't even think the world's ready for that. For, a joint one to come together because, like I said, once I had the media attention, I did something that I should have never done, was read the comments. That tore me up. When I tell you I went, a lot of people, they see, obviously social media, see what you put out, right? But even the people that were in my life didn't see the effect that those comments had on me, on seeing oh, you're not Mrs. Texas, you're Mrs. Diabetes. And I'm like, first off, bitch, your mama.
Bitch, check my A1C.
Okay, look, prick me. Come on, let's go. But I was just like, what? I would get a lot of hateful comments. I would get comments, even in my DMs from these random ass people, of course, trolling.
No profile pictures.
Exactly. Or a fake profile photo. And I'm just like, damn it. So it really got me down for weeks on end. And thank God I'm in therapy. Shout out therapist. Okay. Sarah, Sunstone Therapy. She'll end up watching this and be like, that's my girl. Yeah. But, I wouldn't have been able to overcome that. Right. And so I'm just so protective over this plus size community. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if they're ready to intersect or have this on a larger scale, just because I worry about there's those women that aren't going to be able to handle the backlash that they get. It really sucks. We've seen so many women and just people in general take their lives because of the hurtful comments people are saying online. And they don't think that they're hurting, anybody else, because it's like, oh, it's just words, like they should get over it. But that's not the case. Like there's just certain things we can't get over. I know there's been times where my sister, who ran for Congress here in Texas, she got so many hateful comments about her appearance, and I saw that deeply affect her, to her core. And I was like, I don't want other people to go through that, and I want them to kind of like be mentally prepared. Like, hey, one, don't read the comments, don't do what I did.
Yeah.
But you probably are, because that's what I did.
Yeah.
And just, you need to have something to protect yourself. So I don't even know if we're ready to have, them to be on a higher platform, for them to be combined or anything. Because I would love it.
Yeah.
But there's so many other things that, take part in. I just wish that the mental health was better, placed for them, and like there was more resources.
Yeah, I think it's very tricky too, because it's kind of well, like first off, yeah, like other people's thoughts are none of my business. Like,
oh yeah,
don't look at that. But it's kind of like that double-edged sword of like, it's kind of like a backhanded compliment or something when people are like, oh, you're so strong, or you're so brave, or you're so this, and I'm just like, well, why do I have to be strong, or why do I have to be brave? Like, why do I have to weather these comments, and why do you have to reduce me to a character or a person or a size rather than a human who is doing this thing? And you think because you're on like a blank screen in a spam profile that you can just like comment whatever you want to say, like, let's see how you look, boo,
Yeah, I'm like, come on now. I will literally go through people's, even when I randomly just read news stories or pop culture stuff that's talking trash about Beyonce, let me go see. Like, look at you. No,
This
honey,
yeah.
What? You working at the mini mart?
Girl, clock in.
What are you doing on here?
Yeah.
Let me call them.
Your supervisor know you're talking like this.
She overcharged me for my M&Ms.
The peanut ones.
Yes.
One of my favorite like TikTokers is Drew Afalo.
Oh yes,
and she like basically she responds to like shitty men's like comments, and like she drags them, and like she's plus size, she's like super confident, super beautiful, but men can't take her just like loving themselves. And really that's what it's about. It's like the misogyny, and just like men hate because they feel so inferior and insecure about their lives that like if they're unhappy, they want everybody else to be unhappy, and they hate, here's this person of color, or here's this like fat person, or here's this gay person, or here's this trans person, and they love themselves, and they're undoubtedly living in their truth. Why do I feel shitty if I'm like a straight white man and I'm supposed to be at like the apex of the social hierarchy?
Exactly.
And they try to like bring you down a notch, and it's like, boo, like we see through that.
Exactly. And that's, a lot of them are men. White men.
Or pick me girls.
Oh my God, not the pick me.
And you know what, like, what it comes down to is like the pick me people are like, I'm trying to like play by the rules of society, or I'm trying to feel like I'm trying to fit in these boxes of what is deemed like quote unquote acceptable. And you're not. You're living your own truth, and you're not caring about these other factors, and you're happy. Oh shit, like that's taking away from me. And it's like, you can be happy without taking away someone else's happiness. Like there's space for everybody. And really, I think that's what the pick me is about, the pick me culture.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's, don't care about what you're doing, what you're wearing, what you're saying. That's one thing that I definitely struggled with within these past months. As my reign was coming to an end, I had been so conformed and trying to be in a box that I was being, initially shoved in, because I needed to maintain a certain, image and not even be myself, to where I took myself off of like my Mrs. Texas Instagram and not posting anything, because I was like, I don't even know what I should be sharing, what I should be doing. Yeah. I really had like a whole little mini identity crisis, and went into something like, well, I want to make sure that I'm showing, myself in this light, but I'm not being true. I'm not sharing my full, pageant journey, or I'm not sharing any of this because, I might get backlash. And yeah, it's just about not caring. And so this sounds really horrible, but I don't care. I'm really glad to be out of my contract. So that way I can continue to be the person that I've been this whole time, and that the people, within Austin and Texas have gotten to know. And, that's just me, who I am.
Yeah. Well, do you think, would you compete again? Or like, what would you, I guess, if you were to get the title again in the future, like, is there anything you would do differently, or you would tell yourself like, I'm going to do it this way?
100% still raw dog it.
Okay.
We going in guns blazing, But at the same time, looking back, I would continue to do what I wanted to do and act how I wanted to act. And it's not like I'm acting like buck wild out here. I'm not out here in these streets, like running through the streets showing my ass. Like I said, I got Krabby Patties. Like, I ain't doing that. So, but if I did.
There might be planktons out there. You never know.
Planktons, look, call me. No, I'm all married. Call me. I'll take your money, honey. But I would, still maintain true to who I am and still say the things I want to do, post what I want to post, host the events I want to host, and not feel bad. And if my title was to get taken because of it in the future, then, oh, well, it does. Like, I'm standing on something much bigger and much larger than just a crown. I'm not a crown chaser at all. So, and that's what I've learned a lot in pageantry, that there are a lot of crown chasers that do it because, that's something that they need in their lives to validate themselves. And it's kind of sad because I was happy regardless, winning or losing, even Texas, even though I was like, no, I'm going to win this shit. I was still like, if I lose, okay, this was a fun journey. This was something I did. I tried it, whatever. And, I think it's important for people to know that you don't need something to validate yourself. So.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your reign. Was there anything that you were most proud of during that year?
Was I proud of? Jesus Christ. This sounds funny. And I know she's facing a lot of backlash right now, but Lizzo. Look here, I'm gonna talk about it. But it was when she recognized me at her show in here in Austin at the Moody Center. I was here. I was on the floor barricade, and she recognized me and announced that I was Mrs. Austin, a plus size queen.
Wow.
And then from then we started. She started sending me a bunch of her Yitty products and stuff. I started working on those things. So that's something I was just really proud of because before she's facing all this backlash, she was definitely our fat icon. She was for all of us of body positivity and being who you want to be. And hey, if you want to wear this or that, do it. Like, she was definitely like an inspiration for me. And it's not even to be validated by her, but for her to recognize, me. And then from then on, like, I got approached right after the concert so many different times, and made so many, incredible connections just from that. That's something I'm just, I'm proud of. And I'm just like, I still can't believe that happened.
That's awesome. And like, you're an up and coming, like, representative of this community too. And like, I think it's really exciting to see different people and not just put all of the faith in one person, regardless if she's getting the backlash or not. But like,
exactly.
She is not like the only person. Like, it's a diverse and like expansive community. So I think that's really great.
Yeah, exactly. And there's, another reason why I'm excited, like when I go to Houston and Dallas and stuff, because I work with these other plus size communities and I try to expose my people here in Austin and just in general to those other communities. Because look, sometimes we ball on a budget and, hey, we got to take a vacation to Houston. That's our vacation. Cool. Well, there's some plus size events. This is a plus size community over there you can channel. There's another plus size, community in Dallas. So, for example, I don't think you've probably even heard of it. And if you have, you can correct me, of course. But there is a community in Houston. They're called Curvechella, like Coachella, but Curvechella.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
And they actually just started last year and they held their first Curvechella weekend. Well, now this coming August, it's a full week. Because it grew, like, it got that much attention. There was so much need for it there. It's a whole week long of just plus size shopping, plus size events, plus size parties, brunch, lunch, dinners, within this community. And I think it's incredible. And so, as I also make these strides and, go up and, I'm also going into plus size modeling, is that I'm also carrying all these other people and bringing them with me, because what might not be for me is for somebody else, or somebody else also needs this exposure as well. Like, I'm not just going to gatekeep all these things.
Yeah.
I want the community to find out about this, so that's really important.
I think that's beautiful. And like, I have a lot of like plus size followers who I love. And they want to know, like, well, shit, where do I go? How do I go into these spaces? Where do I find these spaces? I want to make community with other people, and I don't want to walk into an event and it's just a bunch of like skinny bitches. Like, no hate to the skinny bitches, but like,
I love my skinny bitches, but look, I need some fat bitches too. Like,
okay, it's the representation. But
exactly.
What are some events, like, what would you recommend, or what are some events that like people can see on the horizon? Anything coming up?
Yeah, so monthly, I'm always going to continue to host the free monthly plus size clothing swaps, and those take place all the way from Kyle all the way to Pflugerville. I traveled to different places, even community members' homes. They will open it up to have it there. My thing is I want to be protective over the community. So when I am going to be hosting them in public spaces, I want to make sure it's a safe space because we already, we're just like, we don't need those side eyes.
We don't need the side eyes.
But May 1st, we're going to be at Lulu's again. We're going to be doing R&B bingo.
Cute.
That's going to be fun. We are also, like I said earlier, the pool party that's going to be starting in July. The end of May, mid-May, we're going to be doing Big Bitch Brunch.
Oh, I love
Look
that.
here.
Okay. Where is that at? Okay.
Yeah. So we're honing down 2 different restaurants right now. And then that's also going to be announced within the next couple of days. And all of it's just, free to attend. Of course, pay for your food because, I don't got that money. Until Beyonce or Drake gives me $20K, then I'll do some things, okay? Do something strange for some change, I would. But, so those are some of the things that are coming up right now. And so I'm open. I can't wait to also, and I'm going to do it in the fall, and host a plus size market with mostly plus size clothing for everybody, no matter what you identify as, because I believe that that's something that's really needed. There's often times where we're going shopping, or trying to thrift or go to either other clothing swaps and we're like, there ain't nothing for us here. We just leave depressed and depleted.
Well, because I've also I've seen on Nicole Pyre's podcast where she talks about whenever they do have a plus size, side of a site or a fashion brand, it's just ugly shit. And
I ain't trying to wear plaid and some damn roses and some skulls. What the fuck you think I am?
And I think there's a controversy right now on TikTok of this company coming out and saying they intentionally make ugly fabrics in the plus size section so that nobody buys it, and then they're like, oh well, nobody buys it, that's what
we're not gonna do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's such a problem. I hate that crap. And so that's why I'm like, no, I have so many, I know so many different vintage shops that are just solely for plus size bodies. And I'm like, no, they need to be seen. We need to start having these markets. And so I don't know. I'm toying with the idea of fat girl fall, fat fall, something like that. But we'll see. But it's definitely going to be in the fall because we ain't about to be sweating out here at a market.
Okay, listen.
During the summer. Look, look.
In Texas? Yeah.
I know our bodies, and we ain't about that.
Okay, well, with our followers and listeners who aren't in Austin or aren't in Texas, do you have any websites, clothing websites or places that you like personally shopping at that are trusted?
Yeah, so it's actually Black owned. Reb Dolls, incredible. Oh my God, the quality is amazing. They have all of our sizes there. The colors are there. You're not going to get no skulls. Look, you're not shopping at Torrid. You're not going to get no skulls and all that bull crap. You're going to get quality things. I really, really like them. Unique vintage. If you're somebody who likes a 1950s type of vibe, things like that. Incredible merchandise. I love them. There's also another brand. They're here in Austin, but you can order from them online called the Platform Clothier. I'll have to send you the link. But but yeah, they're also incredible as well. So, and then if you're outside of, Texas in general, you can look on Instagram and on Facebook. So there's a thing called FatCon.
Ooh, okay.
And so they also have links and other websites to other communities within different states as well. So, and we just entered their atmosphere of their map. So hopefully we can connect and bring it sounds funny to say mini FatCon to Texas to see how that goes, but that would be good.
That's cool. I love that. Okay. I'll link all of that below for the listeners. And I know with my friends and stuff, we always joke with each other, let's go eat, big back activities, all of that stuff.
I was telling you that the other day. Yeah. I was like, look, you're like, I'm huffing and puffing. I was like, big back, that's me. Look, and that's a whole new term that just came out, which I'm like, nah, they're trying to use that against us. Nah, I'm going to own that. I'm like, no, we're over here big backing in Houston eating barbecue. I don't give a shit.
No, yeah, me and my friend, we always send that to each other because, she doesn't like to go out to, go clubbing or whatever, but, we do link up to, try new restaurants. We're big foodies, so we're like, okay, what's our big activity of this month? And we joke about it, but it's out of love and it's not to make someone a butt end of the joke,
Yeah, exactly. No, that's important.
Well, this was fun. I loved talking to you. Thank you again for coming on for the finale.
Thank you for having me. This was great. I love it. You're a peach. Guys, I don't think y'all know, but Me and Justin know each other, but not like know each other because I know his mama from my mama. So it's like a whole thing.
I'm like, we were pageant competitors.
Look him. He's the one who cut my dress.
Okay. It's giving showgirls, like throw pearls on the floor. But no, where can the lovely people find you on social media?
Yeah, so on Instagram you can find me at the Mrs. Texas. That's MRS Texas spelled out. And then for the plus size community, you can find us at @ISlay_you slay, because when I slay, you slay,
Hello.
we slay. Hello.
It's giving nosotros. Okay.
Yes. And the same thing goes for on Facebook and on TikTok. You can find me at Yo Soy Bell with an E at the end.
Okay. So if people want to stay up to date with like any of these really cool upcoming events you're talking about, it's going to be on
It'll be on all social media platforms, even my personal ones. It'll be on there.
Okay.
It's just to make sure we're hitting this.
Awesome. Okay. Well, go follow Christabell on all of these pages, and stay up to date. Keep an eye out if you're in the Texas area for, the pull event, the market.
Yes.
That sounds really cool. It's really exciting. I know a lot of people are going to show up and show out because we need it.
Yes. And then maybe one day we can get you to do a live podcast because I want to have different workshops. This would be amazing.
Okay. We can give some podcasts. We can do a pageant etiquette type of show. Do you have a favorite like portion of the competition? Like the talent or the dress wear, evening wear?
Oh, it's my evening wear. 100% it's my evening wear. Okay. 100%. Yes.
8 down.
If I could have found or had something made that replicated what Beyonce wore in 2016 to the Met Gala, I would have.
Okay.
Because that's literally what I wanted to wear.
Do you know how to like sew or like make any garments yourself?
I learned how to sew for this. Because the pant wear, if you go back and look at my pant wear, it was all neon green. And so me and my sister had to put all these rhinestones on this shit.
Okay.
I'm a big girl, look. And that was a lot of material we had to go through.
A lot of surface area. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for coming on. And if you're listening, thank you for listening to this episode as well as the rest of the season. We'll be back for season 2, but in the meantime, give us 5 stars, like our show, like our rating, follow us, share it with your friends, your family, your enemies, let them know what you know. Yep. But until then, go back and listen to the rest of the season, and we'll see you for season 2. Bye, y'all.
Bye.